Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello guys. Today we will tell you about a story with the title The Soldier's Memory. Before we telling this story, let us introduce ourselves. Hello, my name is Zidane Afan and this my friend.
My name is Abdurrahman Abdul Hamid.
Okay, before we start the story, I hope you will listen with this story. I hope you can all can take this moral. Please, listen to us.
The Soldier's Memory. Never have I been surprised when my parents taught me. It turned out that I had grandfather even though they had never said anything about him before. And that happened when my parents and I picked up my grandfather in the capital prison, Berlin. When that winter morning I saw my grandfather coming out of the front yard of the prison while sitting in the wheelchair pushed by the officers. When my father saw grandfather, my father immediately greeted him, approached him and took him in the car, and then went to his hometown in Minhaj. When we got home, suddenly my grandfather asked me to go around with him, and I accepted. While walking around, I also wanted to ask Grandpa because when I was taking him around, he doesn't want to talk until finally I wanted to start a conversation with him. Grandpa, who is still silent, directly asked me, "Son, did your mother and father ever tell you about your father?" Asked me Grandpa, who immediately surprised me. "No, Mom and Dad never told me about Grandpa," I replied, surprise which instantly made Grandpa's face look sad. Then my grandfather, who had been standing straight, suddenly turned to me. "Come on, son, follow what grandfather said," said grandfather, which surprised me until finally the grandfather said to me again, "Come on, son, what are you waiting for?" Finally, I obeyed my grandfather's words. We walked towards the wooden hut and the edge of the beautiful rain. "We've arrived," said grandfather, which made me wonder. Why did Grandpa want to take me to this place? After seeing a strange wooden hut beside the river, Grandpa and entered the hut, and Grandpa told me to move a large wardrobe that seemed to be rotten. I immediately pushed it and found there was a safe containing the name Hans von Houten, which contains a rifle and its bullets, a medium notebook, and a photo album, along with military clothes, with a badge with a familiar emblem on it. My grandfather, I can only be silent and surprised that my grandfather is a special force of the old regime. "How are you familiar with the symbol?" Grandpa said with a flat smile. I noticed that symbol, and I just realized that grandfather was a member of the army. I said while looking at the symbol, "Your father and mother know that I am one of the members of the special forces. It's only natural that they never tell your grandfather's story, even though I just want to fight for the honor of the fatherland, said my grandfather, who had tears on the face. "Grandpa, are you willing to tell your story?" Then take the notebook and the photo album. "Okay, Grandpa, I'll take it. Maybe can I sit in front of the terrace? How about it?" "Okay, my son." After that, Grandpa started to open the notebook. I waited for him to finish in nostalgia. Sorry for waiting. Now let's start your grandfather's story. Listen well, son, said grandfather with a smile.
In 1939 AD, a giant war began when the Great Rage invaded the East. At that time, there lived a young man named Heinz von Houten, a young man who was eager to join the war with the Reich army for the glory of the fatherland. Where in the end, he managed to lead an armored division. After months of training with his armored comrades, Heinz felt ready to serve on the battlefield. The operation to the west was Heinz's first assignment, where he and his crew and other tank crews succeeded in destroying the enemy. Thanks to Heinz's bravery on the battlefield, he won the most prestigious medal in the Reich Army, Iron Cross. 2 years later, Heinz and his division gained a first victories from the Western Front. But that was different. When he was transferred to the Eastern Front, where he and his company suffered a terrible defeat. In the end, Heinz and his company were sent to protect the capital, Berlin. After going through fierce battle on the outskirts of the capital, Heinz and his company failed to hold the enemy's attack until one of his crews spoke to him. "Commander, we have no hope. No, if we continue to fight, we can hold them long enough," said Heinz. "Commander, there's a message from the HQ." Then came the news from a live radio broadcast from headquarters that it turned out that the Reich was being surrounded by the enemy. And one more thing that surprised Heinz: the leader had committed suicide. "This is not possible. Why did this happen? Everyone, now we must retreat towards the Stobensee-Brücke bridge," Heinz said. "I must hold them long enough. I must hold them off." While retreating towards the bridge, Heinz saw a terrifying sight in front of his eyes. He saw crumbling buildings, old people, hungry children, and a stack of corpses. After that, Heinz arrived in the front of the Stobensee-Brücke bridge, where he was greeted by a large number of enemy soldiers. Then he came out of the top of his tank and he gave orders to the division he leads. "Listen, this is our last moment to defend the fatherland. Now the enemy is at the gate. I swear in the name of God, let's move forward to defend our fatherland. May God help Germany. Attack!" Then there was a very fierce battle that took many lives. Corpses were lying on the ground. So, how did Grandpa survive the battle? After that battle, Grandpa fled with Grandpa's crew. Our tank was already tracked, so Grandpa had to leave. Together with Grandpa's crew, we went to the Reichstag, which turned out to be under siege. Finally, we jumped into the battlefield with the last Reich troops, which in the end, the battle was in vain. The enemy force succeeded in bringing down the Reichstag defense. And that time, Grandfather wanted to commit suicide because I could not fight anymore. But Grandfather was blocked by Grandfather's crew. "Commander, don't. I know that you are loyal to our fatherland, but please don't. You must live and accept this reality." Finally, I was touched by his words. Yes, that's right. Yes, that's right. Even though Grandfather remained loyal to the fatherland, We retreated to the West Germany, where the Western Army had occupied and surrendered to them until finally I was imprisoned and considered a traitor to the country. There are so many who have the same fate, from soldier to traitor. It's what winners do to us. Indeed, most of us are inhumane, but many are also fighting for the glory of the fatherland. That's the grandfather and older soldiers. That's what your grandfather's story is. I hope you can take a lesson for your grandfather's story. This is the soldier's memory, said my grandfather with a smile. We also looked at the beautiful Rhine River in front of our eyes, which also made me realize that the river once held upon earth.
Okay guys, thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.